Jerry, I said to you yesterday.
He's just saying this stuff, and then like even this one, I knew you were gonna bring this up. I just knew how it ends, isn't it? Yeah, like even this.
We have to speak about it, Jay. We have to.
You know what Michael Owen is trying to say, bro?
No, we don't, bro. We don't. No, we don't, bro.
And Virgil van Dijk, we do. Everyone knows what he's trying to say because we've spoken about it on this show, bro.
No, we don't. Nah, man, these man keep trying to little down the Premier League team, bro. But it could have been a special season. Could have.
Okay, cool. Okay. Would it? What's better to do? Win 3 or win 1?
Depending on the 3.
No. What's better to do?
I'll be honest,
I'll be honest, but based on the trophies that we can get in England, 3 is always going to be better than 1 because 1's going to be the Champions League or the Premier. Has to be just on maths.
Okay, so if the 3 is going to be better than 1, and to be honest, unless it's like what we did in 2001, where it's like you won the UEFA Cup, League Cup, FA Cup, and then you're comparing that to like winning the Premier League, then whatever, that's like apples and oranges, right? But if we're saying 3 trophies that you are in to win, right? And now you're down to 1, bro. Like, come on, like, yes, you were on for that. That's a special season. That's not taken away from the season that we are currently having, but it would have been way better if you had won. Obviously,
okay, I agree. I'm going to agree for this argument, but what Michael Owen tried to do was Michael Owen tried to just belittle it, and I keep hearing.
Nah, he didn't belittle it, bro.
No, he did, bro.
The feelings are getting hurt for what reason? I don't get it. Like,
no, because he tried to belittle what we're doing, bro. Like, without realizing
probably. How would he have belittled winning a Premier League? Like, how does that belittle?
No, because you already know that's gone now. We already know those trophies are gone. We're out of them, cool. But if you're gonna ask the man a question after a win, like we're going towards a Premier League title, bro. I ain't trying to ask about. Yeah, it could have been a special season.
But ends at the same time, right? He needs to ask the question like as a viewer. I want him asking the questions that we discuss. Yeah. So the question I want to know as well is he's saying after 2 defeats, right? How hard was it to come back off that, knowing that it could have been a very special? Right, if Liverpool had won the Champions League and the FA Cup, right, we'd be talking about as one of the greatest seasons, like up there with the best treble, right? That's what we're talking about. Now it's just going to be not just the league.
No, but that's what I mean. For
me, it's still going to be a good season, but I won't look back on it and be like, that season was so special, man. Like it was honestly.
No, but Jerry, it has to be because it depends on what you picked at the start of the season. It has to be special. If you picked, for an example, Liverpool not to win the league, you can't then say, "Oh, all right." No, it has to be special because your targets you set was not winning it. But if I set the target, for instance, like for me, Sav, I can't remember if G said win the title, but for us, when we said,
I did not say win the title.
All right, cool. But if we say win the title, and then we're already gone, right? We're gonna win that, and
then that means it's not special for you. Then that means it's not special.
But what I'm saying is, I don't like Michael Owen because he didn't pick Liverpool to win the title. No pundits did. So he
no.
He said really special. That's
Jerry, I'll be honest, bro. If you watch him say it and not just see this, Owen doesn't sound like he's trying to like take the piss.
No, but I watched it.
I've heard it. Because when I was watching it, I was like, why is Virgil so rattled, bro?
Yeah, I was like, why are you so pressed? Like he's just asking you a question.
But you know the reason though, innit? It's because it looks like he's only spoken to Michael Owen and the Sky Sports commentators, but if man know how the media thing works, he's probably spoke to like 8 people already, bro. They've all asking the same kind of thing. It's like, okay, now I've got you, blood, and you went off to Man United. I ain't trying to hear from you, you little prick, bro. Look, that's what it is, bro.
Put it this way, right? The way I look at it, right, as well from maybe Owen's perspective, they've played in it, is Virgin that would go into the season. They're not. I know I didn't think we're winning the league. You probably didn't. G probably didn't, right? But
why did I didn't?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, innit? That's it. He didn't. G thought
I did not think Liverpool were gonna win the league. I'll say it here and now. I do not mind.
Cool. I didn't either. But anytime I heard Virgil speak and Salah speak and all of that, no, we're trying to go for everything. We're winning. We're trying to win everything. Yeah, the Premier League. We're trying to win it. So that was their goal, right? Now, over time, things change in the season. For instance, if Liverpool to bottle the league right now, are you going to sit here and tell me, I didn't think Liverpool would be in a title race like that, I didn't think, like, second, boy. Like, you wouldn't. You'd be like, this was a shambolic end to the season, right?
Yeah,
so, from his perspective, if he's asking after 2 defeats, right, and there were big defeats where you could have won a title in the Carabao Cup and you got knocked out at home by PSG in the Champions League, which you'd have been knocking out one of their favourites, right? I think it's fair to go and ask how you guys have recovered from it or how you guys are feeling in the camp, because it could have been a very special season, which it won't be a special. I think that's fair to say. You can't. I'm not going to allow this brother to gaslight me and tell me, one Premier League is as good as the Champions League, Premier League, and the Carabao Cup. There's no, come on.
But I don't think that's what Virgil was saying. He just don't want to belittle what they've done so far.
I don't think anyone is belittling. I think everyone's Gary Neville's praising them.
I'm gonna go with what Savage said. I think because he probably answered so many of these questions, probably he's had 8 to do. TNT, this, blah blah blah.
That's what I think.
But that's what Michael
every time he keeps hearing, oh yeah, it could have been this, and he's like, so you man don't think when it, because in his mind, after like the 8th time, the 2nd time, 3rd, 4th time, he's gonna be like, don't you man think this is a good season then? Like,
but then he's
in the Premier League.
But he's also got to take responsibility that you guys as a team, you fucked up. You got knocked out of the
club. It's not like he hasn't. So I can't use
that response to me tells me you haven't.
No, but that's because if we're going off of this, then I can't agree. But because there's other times when after the games he's taken responsibility.
The biggest issue for Virgil here is
no, but you can take responsibility. I'm talking in a general sense. If we're just basing it just purely off of this interview, right, and we're listening to it, the reality is this, right? If you've taken responsibility as a team, to me, I don't see why this would bother you, even if 100 people asked you. Bearing in mind, they are reporters. This ain't like us, man, asking you the question over. Bro, this is reporters. You know they are going to ask you. So when you come off press like this, I'm like, now you sound like you got some problem over there because you sound like you got an issue. These times, no one would belittle you ever winning. No one's going to belittle anyone.
No, but that's the narrative now, though. That's what I'm saying.
You know what it is,
but I've not seen the narrative that saying
that might be more of an insecurity thing, though.
Yeah, we got
man knows
insecurity is like
very special. Because man saying it, what do you mean?
Say that very special.
Not good enough. It's like, no, it is good enough, but you know you could have won everything.
The League Cup and the Champions League, we got knocked out before the international break in it. I think Virgil's just not trying to hear anything now that we've had an international break and we're back in it. He probably got back in and these lot are on some refresh thing. Now we only have to win the title. Let's go and win that. Man ain't trying to hear it.
The demons again, yeah.
Is that Michael Owen?
No. I'm not on Virgil's side on this one. I'm like, I don't understand why you got rattled anyway. So I'm just offering the perspective of why Virgil was acting like that. Because for me, it's like, I get what Michael Owen's talking about. Because yes, it's what Jerry said on it. At the beginning of the season, or as the season goes on, the Prem is like the most important thing. Like, oh my God, if we can win the Prem. The fact that we were so many points ahead when we went into that PSG game and the Newcastle one, it kind of like the Prem's on the back burner. It's almost like, yeah, you've won that. So now you can just lock into these games. And the fact that you didn't,
you've done that.
Yeah. The fact that you didn't, and you've got this now, it's like
and you messed it up.
Exactly. And obviously, I mean, not Virgil and that, but let's not pretend the fans are talking about trouble and all this business a few weeks ago.
Quadruple in them.
So of course, it's not going to feel as special. But when it gets to the end of the season and we pick up the title, it will feel that special again because that's what matters. But for that, you know what I mean? It's one of those ones, bro. Like, I get it, Virgil, man. I hear it still, bro. Man, there's been no Dutch captain to ever win the league and that. So special, Virgil.
Yeah, man ain't trying to hear no one trying to belittle it down. Even
man. What Virgil should have said is, why didn't you ask Trent and walked off, blood? That would see. Our players don't have no personality, bro. I told you, bro. They're all like,
why didn't you ask Mo? He's the best in the world, apparently.
Yeah. Some bad man thing. Go ask Trent, blood. He's your best friend, and he didn't. You left too, didn't you? Go speak to Trent.
Right.
That's what Virgil said. Virgil should have said, "Hold on, no, didn't you go Real Madrid as well? Speak to Trent and leave, bro."
Imagine he did that and just broke the headphones, just snapped them.
How cold it would have been, bro. We need personalities back. I'd love it if we beat them. Love it. We need it back, bro. He's not being weak in that.
Love it.
But also as well, I also think as well, what like for me anyway, from what I've seen obviously Manchester City, we see Manchester United, you see Chelsea, right? A team used to winning, you start to see it in the way that the players talk. When you're not used to winning, everything is going to press you, bro. Like any little thing that someone says that's going to take you over the edge a little bit, you're going to be like, oh my God, like this. These times I've heard Rodri speak after when they've only won, I think, like the Prem and maybe a cup. And it's like, no one's pressed. You know why? Bro, I've just come off the back of winning fucking 3 in a row. Man ain't pressed about whatever questions you're asking me about
You
anything.
say that, G, but I heard some of them man in that camp got rattled when people like, "Oh, you man don't respect us and what we've done." I've heard them be rattled because
No. You're talking about now. You never heard it during the period of time when they were winning everything,
bro. When Pep won them league titles in a row, man was rattled because they're like, "Oh no, but you were expected to win that with the money you spent." He was like, "No, this can't be expected to do this." Blah blah.
Nah,
like, bro,
I don't feel like Pep's someone that like
he does get rattled, bro. He gets rattled when you don't show him. Remember about the Premier League thing as well when he was like, "Oh, none of the Man City players ever win it, but we win the title." It's like, bro, like
what I'm saying is
that's as in we watch it and we say the same thing. We're like, how is Kevin De Bruyne not won it? How has Haaland not won it? How is we know that they should probably win it.
Virgil should be lucky that he wasn't speaking to journalists from his own place, bro, from his ends, because they're rude. Them journalists will eat, bro. Them man would have been like, "What do you say, Virgil? Not special." Yeah, bro, they're rude, bro. Them Dutch journalists are on smoke at all times, bro. They don't care, bro.
You see what they were doing to Hendo after he didn't do anything.
Hendo said, "Hold on, mate." He said, "You know," and he's like, "Well, you know, the club put you up for sale, didn't they?" It's like, "That's not what happened. Is that what you heard?" He said, "I did it, bro." I saw, bro. Hendo wanted to fight this youth.
Yeah, he did, bro. Man said they put you up for sale though, didn't they? It's like,